with search engine optimization, everyone, it's really a very vacuous word. It means a lot of things to a lot of different people in terms of the activities you can take to rank online when somebody searches for your website, correct? There's so many activities, but there's some very specific ones that can really boost your results. And what we're going to do is we're going to use Taryn's website today to demonstrate the different things you can do on your site. Now, we do have a help center, by the way, that has an entire section on what you can do to improve the ranking of your website, the search engine page ranking. The number one, it's always been the fact that if you have the right content and enough content and quality content on each of your pages, that's probably the number one most important thing you can do for Google to rank you in comparison to your competition. Next, there are some other things that are not human readable. So when you create a website, it has to be good enough for a human being to, enjoy and appreciate the content, but it also has to be good enough for a search engine like the one from Google or the one from Microsoft, which is Bing, to understand, parse the information, and make a decision on how to rank you. And that stuff is hidden from the human being. It's in the code that generates this page. So when you're working with the website builder of Easy Busy Pets, you don't have to code these aspects into the system. We actually have a user interface to help you with that. And each and every web page that you create, so we're in the point of time where we've created a web page, like a home page here for Brooklyn Catitude, for example, or Catitude Street Strutters, as they're named these days. If I go to the home page and I edit that page, it takes me into a mode where I can make changes. Obviously, I'm going to make sure that my content is as best as possible, but I can also open up this configuration panel. Now, probably like the number 2 to number 5 things you can do to really optimize how best to be found online are the following. There's something called a title. This is a piece of information within the code of your page that Google sees and uses towards your ranking. Also, there is this description. How do these things manifest? Well, if I searched for Easy Busy Pets, the website, right? You'll find our title, for example, here. That's a title, and that's the description there. Okay, so already this information is used as part of the search engine results page. So if somebody's looking for your homepage, not your dog trains human or who we are, each page has to be searched, right? But if you want somebody to search for your homepage and search well, you got to make sure that your title is descriptive, and same with your meta description, that they're not too long, because there are suggested limits in terms of how long they should be. And we have all those descriptions and explanations in the Help Center. So maybe you might want to write something like, in the title, you might want to write something like best cat sitting service in NYC. Okay, I'm just making stuff up here. Now, it updates the link, which is what's going to be written here, but I want it to stay as home. So I'm just fixing that. Okay, so I've updated the title, and I'll show you how that all manifests in just a minute. And this is your description, which I would make an update here, because these are actually more of keyword searches, keywords versus an actual sentence. What you might want to do is, you might want to say something like, visit us at Catitude Street Catitude Street Strutters, and get the best cat sitting service. I'd say the most reliable, right, Taryn?
Yes.
Most reliable and cat sitting service in town! Exclamation. Again, something you might need to change, but you need to make it descriptive, because whatever's written here is used as part of the search terms that people might be looking for on your site.
Wow.
Okay. So if I save this right now, and there's more to show, by the way, everybody, but if I save this page right now, Okay. Her website homepage, her homepage is now updated. It has this actually the title is even showing up here in the thing. But if I go to Catitude Street Strutters, okay, as somebody who's just visiting her site, I can inspect its code. And this is the same code for all websites. They all have the structure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see the description right here. Visit us at Catitude Street Strutters. And I'm going to see a title. Where is it? Right there. So this is code. In other words, if it would be okay if I named it such, this is the code that the search engines look for behind your website in order to decide how to rank you. It's information that they parse. It's just a machine. It parses it, and based on rules and algorithms, chooses whether your website is better than the next person's website. Huh. Okay, every single page needs to have these settings, and they need to be different because Google doesn't like the fact that one page has the same description as another, for example. I'll tell you else what it doesn't like: if your page doesn't load very quickly. In fact, Google even has a quota in terms of how much time it can spend on your page. So if your page doesn't load fast enough, it's not going to care what's written here because it's not going to see it. So you're going to want to make sure that you're on a system like Easy Busy Pets that loads real quick. By the way, that's why our reviews technology is so important, because it's part of the website builder and it loads instantly. And you're getting reviews on a day-to-day basis with the reviews piece within Easy Busy Pets. So new content regularly, Google likes that. I'm going to edit this page, and I'm going to continue on. So the last thing I would add is something called a canonical tag. So long story short, there are different types of website builders out there. Some not so advanced, some really advanced. The really advanced ones, well, they give you an opportunity to visit Catitude Street Strutters like HTTP, Catitude Street Strutters.com, or it could be HTTPS, or it can be www, or it can be none of that, and it'll still come to the same page. Well, you're going to want to tell Google which one's the baseline. So if I go to the Easy Busy Pets website, for example, and I inspect it, and again, this is all recorded, so everyone can just reuse some of these suggestions. And by the way, these tips and tricks change over time, so maybe things might be different, 6 months down the road. But if I look for the canonical tag, there it is. These are all tags, these things. Canonical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this website and I'm going to add something into the header. Now, obviously it's not Easy Busy Pets. It's Catitude Street Strutters.com. Is that correct, Taryn?
Yeah, it is.
In fact, I'm going to just test it just to make sure, right? You don't want to. Yep, loads your website very nicely. Each and every website page should have that in the header. So I'm going to save that. Already, I've probably improved the quality of your page quite significantly. These titles, these descriptions, you keep editing them until they get better and better. Blog, which is really a different topic, is an amazing approach to gaining more traction from being searched online, because each blog article is like a website page that provides more opportunities for people to find you. But again, it's a longer discussion than was meant for this video. One thing I want to add to this discussion is not necessarily something that helps you with being found, because let's say people find you, right? People find your website. But what if they don't see enough information or useful information for them to make a decision to read more about it? For example, if I went to Facebook right now, right, I wanted to write some kind of message about Easy Busy Pets. All right, so that's our picture, and that's our title, and that's our description. Looks good, right? But what if I put what if I was a customer of Catitude Street Strutters.com? So it's showing this picture with this description, okay? But what if Taryn wanted a different picture here? Or what if she wanted a different title or different description? Or what if Facebook, which is not necessarily always correct, didn't know what to put here, so it didn't, and it would just be the wording. We've all seen that. Different kinds of shares show different kinds of results here. It's because we didn't program the website page to tell Facebook exactly what we wanted to show. So just because people can find you, let's say people want to share one of your pages even on their Facebook. Well, when they do that, and these are people who are outside of your organization, like your customers, you're going to want to make it easy for their share to have enough information for people to make a decision and click on it. So whereas I talked a little bit about SEO, it's also important to add what is called meta tags. Facebook created these meta tags called the Open Graph, which quite some time ago, which will help Facebook know what to post when your website page is shared. And so, what might something like that look like? If I go to the Easy Busy Pets website, I can use other customers' websites from Easy Busy Pets, but I might as well just show you what I'm referring to. So let's not use the homepage. Let's say we go to one of our blogs, because that's more relevant. Let's say somebody reads our blog about the dog walking contract template, or maybe, let's see, best dog walking and pet sitting websites. Oh, right. So let's go to catbuddy.com, for example. That is an Easy Busy Pets website, okay? And let's say I inspect. So they've done a really great job here in terms of the settings. And if I were to see all these OGs, that's Open Graph, OG, Open Graph, these are all settings that need to be defined. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say Open Graph description, or let's give it a proper image, or let's give it a description. So we're not happy about how Taryn's website was shared. There's not enough of the description. Okay, so we put something like this here, and then we put in the description, which is visit us at Catitude Street Strutters and get the most reliable cat sitting service in town. Okay, there are descriptions, there are titles, there are images, there are settings to tell when it's being shared that it's an article versus a website page versus any other type of transactional page that you might have. You can define them here so that when somebody shares your page, whatever is being used to share it knows what to do. Okay, and so this description is one of maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 settings that you need to do for every single page that you have in order to make it properly shareable on the social networks. So just to recap, okay, the content on your website page and each page that you have content needs to be up to spec. It has to have good quality content, and it has to be over a certain amount. You can't have too low of a word count. Your pictures need to load very, very quickly, and each page should load quickly that way. Then when you're editing each page, give it a proper title, give it a proper description, okay, and add a canonical. I don't know how many, if it's going to be working with, I don't know if Google's going to like this, a year from now, but right now, this is based on my experience so far, they really, it really helped, reduce the SEO errors that your website has, because there's a lot of tools out there that will tell you how your website is doing in terms of how it's performing from an SEO perspective. SEO standing for search engine optimization, of course. And then these open graph tags. And this is all discussed in our help center as well, above and beyond this video. So for example, if I went to the help center and I typed in open graph, there's already 4 different articles that talk about the importance of each of those tags and what they do. So here's an example picture where a website was not set up with the proper settings, okay? And this is what it looked like after the settings were established when somebody shared that page. After the open graph was established for that page. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Great.
I
And
think
then
that's
there's
me.
now this is already an older article. We keep changing things around in terms of capabilities. I'd say we're already way beyond this, but it's still a great article to go through to learn about the purpose behind these tags and why I'm talking about it today. Lastly, and this is just a bonus, okay? When you have a photo on your website, so right now we're in edit mode, right? We're using the website builder. You're gonna wanna give an alternative text. Like, for example, cat sitting in NYC. I just added a text behind this image because, you know, the search engine might not care about the image, but it'll care about the coded description of the image behind the image.
That's cool.
Right? So you're going to want to do that too. Another advice from an SEO perspective, don't add too many graphics that move around. And, you know, we have all that stuff here, but not here. Well, we have the features for all those things, but you don't want too many transitions because it slows down your page, regardless of which website builder you have. And Google doesn't like that necessarily. I mean, these are all, you know, schools of thought because no one knows exactly how Google thinks and how its algorithms work. But, you know, it's a well accepted knowledge that, you know, the faster your website loads, the better it is for you from a search engine optimization perspective. I'll take questions.
John, Aaron, can you go back to how you did that behind the picture again? I'm sorry, that was kind of fast.
Right. So if you edit the page, and then you left click into your block, and then you go into this section, and then you left click the actual picture. See how things are changing up here?
Yeah.
These settings change depending on what you're looking at, whatever you're playing around with. So this is the alternative text.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I have to take one of your courses in the web builder. I haven't done that, and I realize there's some things about it that I don't know. And then you just type it in.
Right, and you know, this just doing these, like I think these are, you know, reasonable things for you to manage, right? You don't need to hire anybody to do that.
Yeah.
And just by doing that, we're talking about like improving your SEO score from, let's say, 40% to 95%. You know, like just by doing that. There's other things you can do. You can make sure there are no broken links. You know, there's tools for that. There's tools to tell you whether you have some redundancies. But just by doing this alone already brings you to a whole different level from an organic search perspective.